What's up guys, it's Ray here. Welcome back to my channel. So I think it was about maybe like a month or two ago, I did a video where I compared the top tier, most ridiculous crayons that I could find, and I compared those to Crayola, one of the most cheapest brands out there. In fact, you guys, I actually still have the ridiculously expensive crayons. So today I thought we'd keep the tradition going and we'd test out some more ridiculously overpriced, why would anybody in God's name pay that much, products. And since that video had came out, the top requested video to do since then in comparison has been watercolor. And I feel like I haven't done watercolor in a long time on my channel. And plus I like doing these videos because it gives me an excuse to try out ridiculous supplies that I would personally never buy for myself, so it all kind of works out. So today we're going to be comparing the most expensive watercolor that I could find in my town and probably online and pretty much anywhere else versus everybody's favorite, the OG, the original watercolor by Crayola. The first thing we had to do was obviously get the watercolor. Whoa, almost dropped it. Okay, so we are here at Walmart. No surprise. And we're gonna just look for the cheapest watercolor that we can find. So I thought that this was $1, but apparently it's $2. So to make it true to versus $1, I'm also gonna pick up the CRA-Z-ART one. So this one's $1 and this one's $1.97, which is not bad at all. Okay, so I'm here at Hobby Lobby, and I feel like I feel like I shouldn't be filming because it's Hobby Lobby. You know, it's more bourgeois than Walmart. You can tell by the music. There's all different types of watercolor here, but the most expensive one out of all of these is this one. And obviously they don't come in a paint set, so I'm gonna have to pick them out one by one. And there were so many different colors to choose from, I didn't know which ones to get, so I just stuck to as close to primary / Bob Ross as I possibly could. And the grand total of these 8 small paints, the grand total was, sit down for this, the grand total before the 40% coupon was $61. $61 for 8 of these. $61. So it's safe to say that I'm going to be very harsh on these. I'm going to expect the fullest pigments, and we're just going to generally see the comparisons between this one and this one. Now this paint, I feel like everybody who has been alive in America has used this paint at least once or twice in their life. On their official website, the only claims for this is that 1, it has bright colors, 2, it's washable, and 3, if you eat it, you won't die, which is more than what we can say for the next paint.
Winsor & Newton Professional Watercolor offers artists the widest and most balanced choice of pigments with the greatest and possible performance. The brilliance, the transparency, and purity of the color is unparalleled to any other watercolor. And then from there, it just like groans on and on and on. Ridiculousness aside, this is the 3 things that it is known for. I miss the days whenever you get the little paintbrushes that came with the watercolor. Those were the days. But I feel like one is a clear winner of quality. I mean, look at that Crayola. Like, that's really good for, you know, $2. I also picked up these because, I don't know, they were cheap and they're by Crayola. And I just know they're going to be good quality because, you know, Crayola. Now I'm going to let you in on a little secret. In order to get the full pigment, let these soak for like 20 to 30 minutes. It's going to just amp everything up. Like, you won't believe how much more pigment you'll get doing this versus normal. Check this out, 20 to 30 minutes. Look at the fruit of our labor. It's super pigmented and it looks so much better than it did before. Now CRA-Z-ART, I was just like, yeah, it's a swatch, it's doing what it needs to do, nothing crazy. The second one is obviously Crayola. I know I'm such a fangirl, but look at that. Why would I not be a fangirl? Like, what? Come on, that is so much better than the first one, and you know it. Next up is the overly expensive paint, which I had to dilute because I'm assuming it's gonna be super pigmented. Which is very I thought we were gonna see like something insane, like super dark red, but it's just like like it hasn't, I don't know, it's just I even asked on Instagram, like, hey guys, which one do you think is the more expensive one? And a mass majority of you thought it was the left side. Today we're going to be drawing a few things, but I'm going to draw 3 of my favorite things in the whole wide world, the succulents. I like them because they're easy to keep alive, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something useful with my time by keeping this plant alive, even though it requires the absolute bare minimum. Now, the most difficult part about this wasn't the color, wasn't the pigment, it was trying to blend this stupid thing. Anything less than perfectly dry, it just kind of all pulled together and like melted what was underneath and created this ugly blob, which was hard to control. And it sucks because I'm like trying to add layers, trying to add shadows, trying to make it all fancy for you guys, but I wasn't able to do that because it just melted everything that was underneath. I wasn't able to blend. And I knew it wasn't blending, but I was like, you know what, let's just add some red. And that just melted everything into purple. Oh my god. It hurts me to say this, but it's not bad. It's just, not good. Next up is everybody's favorite brand. It's the best brand in the world. I'm just kidding. Everybody hates CRA-Z-ART for some reason. This is the True Dollar watercolor. So a while back, I did a video on their colored pencils, and they weren't bad, they were pretty mediocre, so I'm hoping the exact same results for this. You know, when I was doing this painting, I was thinking to myself, you know, this isn't bad, it's a really pretty blue. In fact, it looks like the expensive blue, as you're about to see. Boy, was I wrong. I was so incredibly wrong. As soon as any kind of wet touched any of the dry, it just all melted like way worse than I could have ever dreamed of in my life. And you're probably thinking to yourself like, girl, this, you know, is not made for professionals. But my counter argument is, you know, their colored pencils aren't bad. Like, why can't this also give me the same mediocre results? Speaking of mediocre, if these paints are bad, I'm gonna be so pissed because $60 is a lot of money. Because if you are gonna pay that much, this should be considered an investment. This is kind of weird, but it's something I noticed. When I spilled this drop, even the drop looked really like pigmented and full of color. So I'm hoping it's gonna be a, you know, exact same thing as the drop. And okay, official analysis by REEVES. So the first thing I noticed is, oh my god, this is so buttery smooth. It's all going on so incredibly even. Do you see those little dark spots right there? Yeah. See, I was finally able to layer, and I was finally able to blend and do all the things that I need to do, which I wasn't able to do previously, talking to you, Crayola. Even when I used the wet on wet technique, it stayed true to color and it didn't mix everywhere, which is a miracle. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is all the layers I was able to put in, all the reds, all the blues. It's such a beautiful sight. And because I was able to sorry, I can't ever talk on my voiceovers. And because I was able to layer so well, I decided to go crazy and add in more colors. Like, let's add in some green, let's add in some other colors, let's add in some pink. And just all around, I am so impressed with this paint, in case you haven't been able to tell. Now, you guys know I like to be extra about everything, so we're gonna do a big reveal of the final succulent. So that's the first one, that is CRA-Z-ART, which, as you can see, hot mess, all blended together. Wasn't able to do what I needed to do. Crayola, not bad, just not what I was expecting, and none of them can compare to the succulent, which, as you can see, I was able to layer, I was able to add more colors, and I was able to have so much more control and just make it all look snazzy and nice, and I think that alone just shows you. But who am I kidding? We're gonna do one last comparison, and usually I don't show you guys sped up from the very start to the very end because I don't like how fast it is. But I want you guys to see for yourself, and like I want it to unfold right in front of you, the two very different watercolors. And it's just crazy, like I'm starting to think that the CRA-Z-ART is actually made out of food coloring pigment or artificial pigment, and I feel like the other one is made out of real pigment, and I think that's the true difference. And of course the formula, you know, is obviously drastically different. Instead of picking a winner, I'm just going to show you guys the finished product of the side-by-side comparison because I think it speaks for itself.
Okay, closing thoughts. My closing thoughts is that, you know, I love Crayola, I love their products, but Winsor & Newton, like this little tiny thing is gonna last you years. But a lot of you guys who are watching me probably don't want to spend a ridiculous amount on watercolor, which is totally understandable. I never have up until this video. So there are some great alternatives that I personally like the Master's Touch liquid and this one, the REEVES watercolor paint set, which I will link down below on my Amazon, so if you guys wanted to buy it, you guys could. I think you can, but it's very, very hard and very time consuming to get the full potential of a liquid watercolor with a pan color. So this is probably gonna be the first and last time I ever say these on one of my videos, but I do think that some of these tubes are definitely worth the $6 to $10, specifically the primaries and the Payne's Gray. I like never say that on my videos. I'm always like, get the dollar one, but not this time. Not this time. If you want to see the first one where we worked with Crayola, I will link that one down below in my description. And if you guys have another idea of like what you guys want to see, expensive versus cheap, leave it in the comments below. And I hate saying this, but if you like this, you can press the like button and also subscribe and also a notification button. I hate saying that, it makes me feel super weird. And with that being said, as always, I appreciate you, I love you, and I will see you next video.